Vinyl Community. Elliott here from Lazy Dogs Records, and there's a alternate, kind of started out as a parody, Vinyl Tag 2020 that Bebop Boom put up like back in April or something, and said he was going to get a head start on everybody, and then Vinyl Richie did that one, and so we have that one running parallel with the other one that's going around. So some people have started doing both, so I said, all right, I'm going to do the alternate universe version one. So here goes. Oh, by the way, we have playing now Del McCoury, still sings bluegrass, the Del McCoury Band, and this is one I picked up for like $6 from the Sinbacks warehouse at Amazon. It's a little bent up here. The vinyl's in good shape. It was a little dirty. I cleaned it a little bit. I didn't give it a thorough cleaning, but got it clean enough to play, and it plays well. It's not warped. Doesn't have any scratches or anything on it or anything. Sounds really good. Always glad to get some Del McCoury Band in there. Okay, so we got 20 questions, and I don't like rules, so I'm gonna do my own thing on this. Okay, you know, I might not do it exactly the way it's supposed to go, but then that's my prerogative for being, you know, a crotchety old man, I guess. Okay, number one was sexiest album. How do you pin that down to one? Okay, I didn't. I got a bunch up here. Okay, in the world of country music in the 1950s and into the 60s, Anita Carter. There she is playing with Hank Snow, an album with Hank Snow. That is one beautiful woman. Mother Maybell's daughter. I think it was Helen, June, and then Anita. And Anita was always the prettiest one. This is Hank Snow and Anita Carter together again. Really good album. She was a good singer and very beautiful. And there's stories that go around about, you know, everybody was, Nashville's just blown away by her beauty. Beautiful when she was young, beautiful in middle age, and beautiful even today. You gotta say that is one sexy woman. That is Lew Harris. I don't know how old she is here, maybe 24 or something like that. Pieces of the Sky from what year? Like 74, I believe this is 75. Okay, and there's another. Look out. What a beautiful, beautiful woman that is. I've had a crush on her since I can remember. If you were a 13, 14-year-old kid when this album came out, you said, oh, praise the Lord. Whoa, you're talking about Carly Simon, No Secrets. And believe me, we weren't looking at the floppy hat, people. That is one beautiful woman. That is a great album cover. You know, thank you, Carly. There she is. What a beautiful smile. And of course, smiles what everybody's concentrating on. Okay. And then, of course, who could forget this album from Linda Ronstadt? Beautiful, beautiful. Which album is this? Hasten Down the Wind is the album. And, you know, that's kind of sexy setting there. Okay, and all of them have been brunettes, haven't they? Well, how about Nancy Sinatra? There's our blonde bombshell right there. Nancy Sinatra. This is the greatest hits album. But probably the most iconic, sexy, beautiful album cover would have to be this one. Dolores Erickson. And this is, of course, the Whipped Cream and Other Delights from Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. That's it right there. Ooh, that's a sexy lady. Sexy album cover. They almost didn't release it. They were scared it was a little too much, but they did. Okay. All right. Next is Scariest. Okay. I'm scared of the zombies. Are you scared of zombies? How about Southern Culture on the Skid? Zombified. Zombified. All right. And that's got songs on it like Zombified, Undertaker, Swamp Thing. Not Swamp Thing, not Thing. She's My Witch, Bloodsucker, Sinister Purpose, Torture, Devil Stomping Ground. I won't go through all of them, but that's a Halloween album, I guess you'd say. And that was signed by all the members of the band. Dave Hartman, of course, Mary Huff, the bassist, and Rick Miller, the guitarist, lead vocalist, driving force, I guess you'd say, behind Southern culture on the skids or Scots. And then we've got, and number 4 was something about Bobby Gass. Who's Bobby Gass? No idea. Hadn't been in the VC long enough, I guess, to know. So, no idea. Okay, and then we've got a soundtrack. Off. Here we go. Soundtrack. I just got this yesterday, believe it or not. A friend of mine I used to work with, he was doing driver's ed, and he drove by the house with his driver and stopped off for a minute, opened up his trunk and gave me a big stack of records. He knows I collect records, and he gave me some that had been his father-in-law's. They were cleaning up his father-in-law's house out. Passed away this summer, unfortunately. And among them was this, The Sound of Music. Julie Andrews, of course. Great soundtrack, great movie. You young folks don't know this, but back in the day, you were lucky if you had 2 TV stations. The most you could have would be 4. ABC, CBS, NBC, and public television. But usually, you know, if you didn't live somewhere that had great reception, you in a metropolitan area, you probably were lucky just to have a couple of those 2 or those 4. And every year certain movies played, and we watched them every year. One of them was The Sound of Music. Wizard of Oz was another one. Gone with the Wind was another. Great, great soundtrack here. And let's see, diapers, loincloth underwear. Well, that was a tough one until, I guess, this Simple Dreams Linda Ronstadt album will work. She's in her house coat, sexy house coat there. It could be under sexy album covers, I guess. But as close as I could get to underwear. That is kind of, she's in her underwear. She just got a little house coat on. Okay, let's see. 2012 favorite or 2019 favorite. That's a hard one to do. I'll do a different one than I did on the other one. This actually came out in 2018, but I bought it in 2019. Buddy Guy. The blues is alive and well. Buddy Guy. And I'm not crazy, I don't obsess on trying to get autographs and things like that, but it's nice when you get them. But I saw Buddy Guy, very fortunate to get a chance to see him live this year. And at the merch table, I just wanted vinyl. I wanted an album from Buddy Guy. And the only way you could buy the album is if you bought the autographed Buddy Guy album. Now, I'm sure he sits there and he signs, hundreds of them at a time, and they carry them on the road with them to sell. So I ended up having to pay $40 for this to get it autographed, because they wouldn't sell you one. They didn't have any sealed that weren't, they were all autographed. So this is a really good album, 2-record set. And next is favorite Ramones album. I don't have any Ramones albums. I will tell you this about the Ramones. So a good friend of mine, when we were in community college together, he's actually passed away now. He's Shaky, great fellow. He's my sister-in-law's brother, and a lot of great memories. Music played a big part in a lot of memories of Shaky. And Shaky had like the Ramones, Patti Smith Horses, the Dickies, and some bands I really didn't have albums of. But I remember he had Ramones album, and when we were in community college, he had to turn in poetry to his English teacher, and he took lyrics from the Ramones and from Patti Smith's is it Horses, is that the name of the album, and Patti Smith's album, wrote them up like they were his, and turned them in, and didn't get called on it, so I guess the teacher wasn't into that type of music. That's all I got. My favorite Ramones album is 24 Hours a Day. I Want to Be Sedated. Let's see. Okay. Autographed album. This is cool. I found this at a thrift store down on the coast. And this is the Gold Tones by request. They were a lounge act in Fayetteville, North Carolina, appearing nightly at the Sheridan Motor Inn, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And they went to Charlotte to Arthur Smith Studios and recorded this album, I'm sure, to sell, at the Sheraton Motor Inn when they were playing. And it's got Best Wishes, Big Dave. He's the drummer. Big Dave, I believe he must have been the band leader since he's in the center. But it's signed. I don't know whatever happened to them. I've actually played it, and it's not bad. It's what you'd expect from a lounge act. It's got a little, countrypolitan. It's got a little soft rock, and just a little mishmash of what you might expect to see them playing for a crowd at a hotel, That was 1974, by the way. 1974. I love getting little albums like that. They always interest me. Okay. Beat Up album. Somebody featured this recently. Roberta Flack. A couple people have, I believe. I know Lady Soul featured Roberta Flack. This is First Take, and this album is beat up. I cleaned it thoroughly. It's pretty beat up, but I'll never get rid of it. I'll never discard it because this was my mother's album. I remember this in my home when I was 11 or 12 years old. Mom didn't have a lot of records. She had Peter, Paul, and Mary. She had some, Mamas and Papas and Roberta Flack. And then later in life, she liked Barbra Streisand and some of those other artists. But this is my mom's copy of First Take, Roberta Flack. And it's beat up bad, but I'll never get rid of it. I'll get another copy to play, and I'll just keep that in my collection. And Felon. Oh, that's an easy one. Most famous musical felon out there. Got pardoned by Ronald Reagan, I believe. Merle Haggard. This is my favorite compilation album. This is Merle Haggard and the Strangers, Songs I Always Sing. And this came out in the mid-70s, 77's when it came out. And it's got all like Fight Inside of Me, Sing Me Back Home, Silver Wings, Sing a Sad Song, Honky Tonk, Nighttime Man. That's all on one side of this four-sided two record collection. But he was convicted. I think what got him in the adult prison, he was caught with burglary tools. It kept arresting him, and he'd escape, or he'd get a little bit of time in juvie or whatever, and then he eventually it kept piling up, and he was an adult, maybe 18 years old, and got caught with burglary tools. And given his prior record, that got him sent. Was it San Quentin he went to? I believe it was San Quentin. That he ended up, and remember he saw Johnny Cash perform there, and then it kind of inspired him to get his act together, get out, and quit breaking the law. Okay, and let's see, sad one. At least 3 members passed away. Marshall Tucker Band. I think there's only 2 members surviving from Marshall Tucker Band. Of course, Tommy Caldwell killed in an accident. Car accident, I believe it was, wasn't it? Toy Caldwell passing away, his brother, the main driving force in the band, passing away just a few, maybe 10 years later or whatever. Tommy passed away while everybody was still in the band. It was still the same band. And George McCoury, I believe it is, passed away as well. I think Paul Riddle and Jerry Eubanks may still be living. I know Doug Gray is still living. He's carrying on the band name, although he's the only original member. I should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a travesty that they're not. Okay, number 13, again, who is Bobby Gass? Got no idea, can't answer that one. 14, Makes You Laugh. There you go, right there. That is a funny album right there. Alive at Johnny Mac Brown High School. Lester Roadhog Moran and the Cadillac Cowboys. It's Statler Brothers is who it is. And this is their parody band. And they make fun of local radio stations and playing at the local high school. And it's a funny album. It's just, you gotta hear it. If you haven't ever heard that album, you pick it up. It's funny. And bought because of the VC. Okay. There was a series on. Well, first of all, VC got me more and more interested in jazz music, although I had some interest, but not a lot. I still don't know much about jazz. But they did a series on solo piano albums, which several people mentioned, Chick Corea, and here's a couple of Chick Corea albums I picked up since then. This one in particular was mentioned. And I believe I have Piano Improvisations Volume 1 as well. I only saw Volume 2 just now though. And VC You Wish would come back. Been here long enough to know. I apologize for that. 17, Nudity on the Cover. We're going to get ourselves in trouble here if we're not careful. Wet Willie, Capricorn Records, and that's nudity, although anything that would get you arrested is not quite seen because it's cut off strategically right there. Wet Willie's album. And, you know, I've skipped one. Cool Center Label. Let me do that. This was one of the earlier questions. Rick Nelson, and this is Rick Sings Nelson. The way the album's set up, it's cut out here, and so you can see the label, and it's like lots of pretty colors and everything in there. I thought that was a neat record label. Okay, let's see. 18 is Cowboy Cover. All right, literally Cowboy Cover, the band Cowboy, and that's their cover. This is a compilation of their first two albums. Or how about A Man Must Carry On, Jerry Jeff Walker. He's got his cowboy shirt on. And he is with Hondo Crouch, the poet. Both of them dressed. There's Hondo in their cowboy hats. And there's a nice shot from the back of the stage with the cowboy hat on. And here's one more. Jim and Jess, the Wildwood Flower. Jim and Jess McReynolds, dressed as gentlemen cowboys. And then we've got a motorcycle cover. David Allen Coe rides again. He was a member of the Outlaws motorcycle gang, the second most notorious behind the Hells Angels motorcycle gang, I guess, in the 60s, 70s. And I don't know exactly what their status is now, but they were, there he is trying to look all tough, and I wouldn't mess with him. He could also used him as felon. He served time in Ohio Penitentiary, and much of his childhood in prison. 20 is a VC channel you wish would go away. I don't have one I wish would go away. Just people that do it, music related records, to try to make money. And the ones that have, it's like a con. They're luring you in to look at this, and then they're trying to somehow make money off of you or something. But I don't think that's really VC community, but that's some stuff on YouTube. Okay, that's it for me. Remember, be kind to your neighbors, and everybody is your neighbor. Take care.